12 o'clock kickoff on Fox, a big Big 12 matchup, pun intended, where the Texas Tech Red Raiders go on the road to take on the Utah Utes in a top 20 matchup in Salt Lake City. I'm your host, Nathan Johnston, alongside Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. The huddle. Brad, this is one of the best matchups of the weekend, in my opinion. A Big 12 matchup, a matchup that'll probably set the stage for the rest of the season in terms of Big 12 play. And we look right here. One of the biggest questions right off the bat, I think, is going to be, can Tech's explosive offense break Utah's dominant defense? And right out of the gate, my first question for you is, when you see two undefeated top 20 teams meet this early, do you think it's more about proving legitimacy or setting the tone for the playoff race?
I think it's proving legitimacy. And the reason I say that is we've both these teams coming in at 3-0. I would say neither one has quite been challenged yet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's going to be a lot of questions answered. Texas Tech was definitely, one of the Big 12 favorites, maybe kind of the Big 12 media darling, for what they did in the portal in the offseason. And it's just their trajectory that they have got they've been on the up and coming for a few years. Joey McGuire's done a great job. And then Utah, of course, they fell off last year. And Kyle Whittingham really went and transformed, especially that offense. And so there's going to be a lot of questions answered. This is going to be a very, very fun game. I'm excited for this one. This is to me, the winner comes out as the favorite to take the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, and to me, Brad, this is a treat. 12 o'clock kickoff. I mean, yes, we've gotten some good 12 o'clock kickoff games thus far through the season, but to me, this is probably going to be one of the best matchups of the year.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for high-flying offenses and very tough defense, this is the game to watch. And when we look at Texas Tech right off the bat, the offensive dominance, man, 58 points per game. And like you said, they haven't been tested, but still, to put up 58 points per game, pretty impressive. And just allowing 11 points per game on defense, that defense is legit. We talked about it prior to the show. The defense is probably 95% portal players, especially on the D line. They have the second and third ranked defensive linemen.
Right.
We'll talk about them here in a second. But let's stick with the offense first. Quarterback Morton, he's been there for a few years now, and he's really been flying under the radar, in my opinion. Yes, they haven't been tested. This will be the first defense he's played that's legit this year, but he's already put up over 900 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and he's completing 70% of his completions, and the deep ball accuracy is what impresses me the most. Then you look at the run game. Adam Hill, 207 yards. Cameron Dickey, 177 yards and 4 touchdowns. They're dynamic. They're multifaceted, and they can beat you in multiple ways. That's what good football teams do. Let me ask you this. Morton's been nearly flawless so far. Do you think he can keep that up against the Utah defense that hasn't really faced anyone like him yet?
I think that's going to be the question. For years we've seen Kyle Whittingham known for defense, known for putting out a physical brand of football. And I think that's the matchup. Look, Texas Tech has got weapons all over the field. And you mentioned it, Nate. This is a very, very good running game. That's the thing that stands out. Texas Tech, a lot of times they're going to go, they're going to be an 11 personnel a lot, but look, they're going to go 4 and maybe even 5 wide receivers a lot of the time too. And, Utah is got to be ready for that. I'm another guy that I'm impressed with is Eakin. He has really impressed me, and just looking at a couple of highlights, I think he's kind of Morton's safety blanket. But Nate, something else that stands out to me is Texas Tech it's not a new offense, but this is their 4th game with a new offensive coordinator. Of course, Zach Kitley, who we're both huge fans of here on Break The Huddle, he's now at Florida Atlantic, and so it's the core of what they do is still the same, but look, they still got a new play caller, and they're doing this. I'm very, very impressed. I think Utah has got to be ready for hurry up. They got to be ready for multiple personnel. But I think the biggest thing is Texas Tech is going to look to, get them spread wide and go and attack downfield. And you mentioned that Behren Morton has been great downfield accuracy. this year, that Utah secondary is going to be tested big time on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about all the weapons that Morton has. You got Eakin. You talk about him in the slot. You talk about Virgil outside lined up. You talk about Carter Jr. at the tight end position, one of the most highly ranked tight ends in all the nation. I believe he transferred in 2 years ago, so he's had a couple years under his belt at Texas Tech. The offensive line is legit. They've been protecting Morton very, very well. And you talk about the running back core as well. This offense just does it all. And as they go into this game, they really, in my opinion, probably haven't had to show much either on film. Mm-hmm. So Utah, I don't want to say they're going into this blindly on the defensive side. You know that Utah's defense is going to be showing up ready to play. We'll talk about that in a second. But man, when you look at this Texas Tech offense, they are legit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other sideline in Utah. They obviously provide a very balanced attack as well. 45.5 points per game right now, only allowing 8 points per game on defense. That's just unbelievable. Again, I haven't really played many teams.
Yeah.
But we've seen big teams give up a lot of points against nobody. So I want to give credit where credit's due. You talk about, Devon Dampier, the transfer quarterback coming in, 628 yards thus far, 7 touchdowns through the air, 198 yards on the ground, and 1 touchdown rushing. This guy can do it all. And thanks to Ryan Davis, the wide receiver, 19 catches, 171 yards, 1 touchdown. Biggest question from me to you is Dampier. He's such a true dual threat kind of guy. Do you see him being more dangerous with his legs or his arm talent against this Texas Tech defense?
I think by far it's his legs. This is a guy that really, really looked good at New Mexico last year, and Kyle Whittingham went and hired his offensive coordinator. Of course, he brings in
smart
Devon Dampier, but they've got a very, very good rushing attack. Rogers, Wayshawn Parker to go along with Devon Dampier. They got some dudes, and that to me is one way that Utah's offense can help out that defense. Let the running game go to work, wear down that Texas Tech defense, and keep the Red Raider offense on the sidelines. And that's going to be a good matchup. I think my big question is this Utah offense for real? They looked good at times against UCLA. Kind of slut-walked a little bit last Saturday against Wyoming. So I'm looking. I want to find out for real what this Utah offense is about. Devon Dampier, he's got some weapons. We know that. Tobias Merriweather, you mentioned Davis, Buchanan. Like I said, I really think, especially Saturday, they're going to be a run-first team. I think they're going to try to do a lot of zone read, some option. We could even see some QB zone, some QB power. I think they want to try to be more physical and wear down Texas Tech. And one of the things that stands out to me, this is a really, really good Utah offensive line, and I think they're going to want to challenge Texas Tech. They're going to want to challenge Texas Tech up front. I'm impressed with Texas Tech's front seven, but I don't know that they've seen, from a physicality standpoint, an offensive line like this.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that matchup because you mentioned how good of an offensive line Utah has. Well, they're going to get what they want on Saturday.
Yeah.
This is the best defensive line that they have faced so far, without a doubt. You got Bailey up front, Hunter, Height, all these guys coming in from the portal for Texas Tech. I want to see how they run the ball because, to me, I think they're going to have to get it outside in the jet sweeps. I think they're going to have to, like you said, do some read option, some zone option. It's going to take a lot to run against this Texas Tech front seven.
Absolutely. And just one final remark for me is, we talked about David Bailey in the transfer portal episode.
We did. I'll tag it.
And he's I think he's been fine this year, but this is why Texas Tech paid him the big NIL money.
Yeah.
This is why he came to Texas Tech. They need him to show out. And look, it may not be all about having 2 or 3 sacks on Saturday. It might be about setting the edge, containing the run, not letting Devon Dampier get going with his legs. But
it's a very good point.
He was so good at Stanford last year. This is why he was the most sought after player in the portal when he elected to enter with the Stanford coaching change. Texas Tech needs him to show up Saturday in a big way.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot for that Texas Tech defense to contain Devon at the quarterback position. If they can do that, it's gonna be a long day for this Utah offense because they've got to make plays on the run. It's a must against this Texas Tech defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we look at the prediction and betting angle. Obviously, the Vegas line -3.5 right now in Utah's favor. You got to think. Shout out Rooster. Always comes down to home field advantage, right? He always talks about 2 to 3 point leverage for. So basically, what Vegas is saying, hey, neutral sighting. This is probably an even spread. It's a coin flip. It could go either way. With that being said, we talk about tempo control for Utah. We talk about Tech's pace. They want to pace the ball. They want to get down the field quick. Morton's test versus Utah's secondary. Utah's defense versus top 20 offense for the first time. Like, this is a great matchup. Any angle that you look at it. Who do you have coming out on top in Salt Lake City Saturday at 12?
I really, really, really like Utah. I like what Kyle Whittingham has done in revamping that offense. However, I just think Morton and those playmakers are just going to be too much. And once again, I go back to, I think the Texas Tech front seven is really, really going to show up. I think Utah's going to get some rushing yards because they've got dynamic playmakers, in the rushing attack, and I think that offensive line is really, really good. But I think the Texas Tech front seven steps up. Texas Tech wins a single score game, but I'm going to take the Red Raiders in this one.
Yeah, two things. You talk about, for one, defense travels, and two, great teams win in multiple ways. They can beat you in multiple ways. When I compare those two and I compare the quarterback play, I got to give the edge to Texas Tech. Yeah, Utah has the home field advantage. That crowd's going to be rowdy. It's going to be early. It's 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's probably going to be what?
10
a.m.
Be an early kid.
So, like, granted, it would still be like an 11 o'clock kickoff for Texas Tech if it was at home. So it's not that big of a difference.
Right.
But I just think listen, to me, it also comes down to who needs this game more. And to me, yes, both teams need this game, but this is Texas Tech's chance to prove themselves on the road, hostile environment. Underdog. Give me the Texas Tech Red Raiders to get it done in Salt Lake City. It's going to be a great matchup, though. Yeah. Man, I can't wait for this one. This has been one of my favorite ones. Let us know your score predictions down below, Texas Tech and Utah and college football fans. And be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Let us know what you think about this game and the future matchups this weekend. Be sure to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and turn on the bell notifications. Stay up to date. We post our latest content. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.